Welcome back. This is the Kelly Roach Show, and today we are talking about characteristics of clients that win. And I'm super excited to bring you this episode because I think it is going to be chock full of reminders that you need as you set yourself up for the finish of one year and the beginning of another. And I hope it is going to remind you of the power of your mindset and the power of taking accountability when you are a student in someone else's container. So I had this question. This is a fan inspired episode. I put out a post online and I said, what are topics that you would love to hear me record on? And I said, if I pick your topic, I will give you a shout out on the episode. And so this is another fan inspired show by Dr. Alexandria Rosa. She does national telemedicine. She also has a luxury IV hydration station for people that are located in Ohio, if you want to check her out online. But she suggested this topic and she really wanted to know, what are the characteristics of people that win inside our program? So I want to start off by talking about what they don't have in common, and then I'll talk to you about what they do have in common. And I really think this applies to everything in both business and in life. So first of all, I'll tell you, we've had people that have had radical levels of success across our programs that are starting from zero. And we've had people that have had really high levels of success that came in that were already doing multiple seven figures that we were able to lead to 8. So it's not a revenue criteria that determines whether or not you're going to have success. We've had people that have come in that have been absolutely world-class, phenomenal speakers that have used the live launch to scale and have used our online strategies to scale. And we've had people that have had little to no public speaking experience and were really weak on camera, quite frankly. We've had people that have been in business for multiple decades that have come in and had remarkable levels of success. And we've had people come in that have no experience at all, that are starting something completely new, just transitioning out of corporate. We've had people come in that are really clear on their avatar and they know exactly who they want to work with and what they want to do and the imprint that they want to make in the world. And we've had people that are still in a time of decision that are deciding. I could go on and on with this list, but what I will tell you is it's not talent. It's not experience. It's not your financial position coming in. It's not the years that you've been in business. It's not even the size of your audience. We've actually had people come in with no audience that have had radical success, and people that already have an established audience that maybe were slower out of the gate than they were. So it's none of those criteria. But here's what I will tell you are the top 5 or 6 things that we see across the board in people that have radical and remarkable levels of success scaling their business. The first one is adopting a beginner's heart. No matter where you are in your business and no matter where you are in your life, when you pay to invest in working with a mentor or getting yourself in a container of someone's, you have to be ready to relinquish everything that you think that you know about that particular topic and replace it with the things that are proven to work time and time again. Now, you have to know the distinction between self-leadership and abdicating your power versus knowing and trusting something that is a proven methodology. And striking that balance is incredibly important. Because while the people that have had really high levels of success working with us across my companies have a beginner's heart in the way that they approach working with us, meaning they're flexible, they're adaptable, they're not judging themselves or the process or the strategy. They're open-minded. They are really willing to allow us to pour into them. At the same time, I've noticed that the people that have these high levels of success are able to balance the beginner's mind and the beginner's heart with strong self-leadership. Now, the strong self-leadership is really important because you have to use your own judgment and your own intuition based on what you know about yourself, about your product, about your service, about your market. And you have to create a marriage between what you're learning in someone else's container and the practical application and the fit in your world. It's bringing those two things together that are going to create a blend and a balance of you getting the best out of the strategy and the direction and the consultation that you're receiving, but also making sure that you're not losing the elements of what make you you. You're not losing the elements of what makes your business special, of what you already know to be true. One of the things that I think people have a tendency to do when they get into someone else's container is abdicate their power. They give everything away and they just want to do exactly what they're hearing, exactly what they're learning, and they want to do things by the book, and they want to make sure that they're doing everything perfectly in accordance with what people are saying in an exact nature. And I think that really gives a lot of your power away. I think that you have to be able to leverage your own intuition and your own wisdom and experience and apply that to what you're learning so that the final product is something that actually reflects the uniqueness of you, your business, your products, your service, and who you truly want to be in the world. And I think that blend and balance is incredibly important. I would say that it's a blend of the beginner's heart with strong self-leadership. The next one is flexibility. Flexibility is so essential to achieving high levels of success. And I think one of the things that people tend to really struggle with is they set a goal and they create a path to get to that goal. And as we all know, I always say by 8:30 in the morning as a founder or CEO, you probably get punched in the face the first time, right? We make plans, God laughs. So you have to have a very high level of flexibility and adaptability to achieve 1% success. All of the people that I have had those types and levels of success in our products, our programs, our services, they've been adaptable and flexible. And I think the biggest way that I would describe this, or a way that you can measure this, is in the speed of your recovery rate. The people that we've seen have very high levels of success are people that they have a very fast recovery rate. And they have an ability to quickly pivot when something doesn't go as planned without attaching a large amount of emotion to that redirection and energy. The people that I see really struggle, that get stuck and don't have those levels of success, are people that anticipate it going a certain way, they desire it to go a certain way, and then when it doesn't go that way, they get completely bent out of shape, and it takes them sometimes weeks, sometimes months to reset their energy and get back on track. And before you know it, you've lost so much time that now something that would have been a minor inconvenience is a massive setback in your business. That is the difference between a champion and an amateur. And you have to understand that and know that's something that you have to be working on as a business leader every single day. How fast is your recovery rate? I strive to have my recovery rate be like 2 minutes or less. Meaning when something doesn't go my way, when something gets off plan, when something goes off track, when something doesn't work, I try to, within 2 to 5 minutes, I'll give myself up to 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, try to reset my energy, process how I feel my feelings, and then move on. What's next? Where's the solution? What is the opportunity that this is presenting? That recovery rate is very much going to determine how fast you go and how far you go in your levels of success in your business. That goes hand in hand with getting comfortable with failure. My top performing entrepreneurs and business leaders have endured extraordinary levels of failure, and they've learned how to extract the learnings and extract the wisdom from those failures. And they're able to reset and reload quickly, as I already spoke about with recovery rate. The people that come into the programs that are always trying to avoid failure, they're always trying to strive for perfection, they're always trying to do it the right way. Those people tend to stay stuck, and they stay stuck for long periods of time, because business can't be built in a planning session. Business can't be built in a vacuum. The only way a business can be built is on the field. And when you're on the field, there's a lot of things that you simply can't anticipate. You can't project how they're going to go. You have to let them play out, and then you have to be able to react and pivot and respond in real time in order to be able to maximize the situation and circumstances at hand, versus kind of wallowing and staying stuck on what could have been or what you wanted to be or whatever the case. The other one, and this goes hand in hand with self-leadership, that I think is really important, and I see a lot of this, and I talk about this, not abdicating your power. And this goes hand in hand with self-leadership. And the thing that I'll say here is you have to have the ability to interpret nuance and to apply strategy correctly to your business. So many times I see people trying to take something and do an exact replication where it's not an apples to apples situation and it doesn't even make sense, right? That's why all of our programs in some way, shape, or form from the high ticket consulting space, even our done for you agency, they have a very customized and very nuanced approach to what we're doing. And in the coaching company and business advisory, our coaching programs all have a one-to-one component of them, even when they're in a group setting. And the reason why is that there has to be nuance. And I think the reason so many people end up building businesses that they don't love, businesses that they're not competent to run, businesses that they don't enjoy running, businesses that they don't truly want to scale, which is why they subconsciously self-sabotage all the time. That happens many times when you take a blueprint and you do a copy paste, which this is what so many coaches and consultants, of course, want to sell because it's less work for them. If you just copy and paste the strategy that they teach and there's no nuance and there's no specificity and there's no customization in the application, that's a lot less work for the coach. That's a lot less work for the mentor or the company or whatever. It is a lot more work when you treat every person like an individual and you really encourage them and guide them to have a nuanced application. But let me tell you, the results are going to turn out 1,000 times better. If you want to be a top performer in your field, you have to realize that ultimately you are completely running your own race. You are building your own pathway, and you have to be willing to break away from the herd. You can take principles and frameworks and strategies that are provided by myself and anyone else in whatever field you're in, whether it's wealth management or fitness or health, nutrition, whatever it is. You can take what we're teaching and you can apply it. But without you trusting yourself to know the intricacies of your field and your avatar and your price point and your market and listening to your intuition, if you abdicate your power, you're going to build something that is out of alignment. When you build something out of alignment, you will subconsciously self-sabotage it over and over again. And this is what I see with so many people in the online space. They build a business that they hate and then they say they want to scale, but in reality, they actually don't want more customers because they don't love what they're building. So creating that alignment at every level of what you're doing is how you're going to build on that firm foundation, which is going to then create alignment both internally, mentally and spiritually in your body experience. And then obviously in what you project outward, the decisions that you make, the action that you take, when that congruence is there, you're going to build something that is sustainable, that you're going to be able to successfully continue to build upon. The final thing is, and this is, I think, the hardest one, and it's crazy because this is the easiest one. It's the simplest one, but it's the one that people struggle with the most. And that is just running the reps. It's running the reps. It's so crazy. But if I look at the people that have had the highest levels of success, they are the people that are willing to build boring. And what I mean by build boring is they are the people that are willing to execute and repeat and run the reps just like an athlete would. This is why I say train for your business like an athlete trains for their sport. The people that achieve 1% success, they're building boring. They understand that the fundamentals and the foundational things that you do in your business are the things that ultimately create congruence and scale. Simplicity is what scales. Complexity is what kills because you actually can't scale complexity. It's too nuanced. There's too many distinctions. There's too much variation. You cannot scale it. You can't create leverage. So making sure that you're looking at something through the lens of years, I look at things through the lens of decades, and that you're setting something that is a multi-year commitment, a multi-year plan, not a multi-day or a multi-week or even a multi-month plan. That's why our programs in the business advisory are all 12 months or longer. Why? Because we don't want to work with lightweights. We want to work with people that actually want to build something. And we know that people that are mature enough to actually understand what it takes to be successful and be in the 1%, they know that you're not going to do something for 6 months. You're not going to do something for 3 months. That's ridiculous. You're not going to have a life-changing success overnight. And so running the reps is probably the most important one, and it's building boring. And the degree to which you can be consistent with building the boring fundamentals, the more success that you're going to have and the more solid your foundation is going to be to scale in the future. So I just gave you the total breakdown across over 10 years of helping people to build 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. That is what works. And that is the repetitive characteristics of people that scale their businesses online. I hope this breakdown was helpful for you. I hope that it invited you to really look at where some areas of opportunity are for you to accelerate your success and get to the next level more quickly. And I want to remind you all that my self-leadership and faith leadership program, Kairos, opens only one time a year. It opens one time a year, and that is going to be the first week of January, right after the ball drops. The next week, we're going to be opening registration for Kairos for one time only in 2025. And if you would love to have a mentor that has built an 8-figure company, plus an additional 5 companies outside of that, a second one about to cross the $1 million mark, a few more that are right behind, and you want to learn about how I became a best-selling author and a 1% global podcaster and won all of the awards and built the businesses and the teams and have time for homeschooling my daughter and my faith and my family, and you want to be a part of my inner circle and you want to be live with me every week to work on all things faith leadership, mental toughness, business building, the whole gamut, you can scroll down below this episode and you can sign up for the wait list to be the first to be notified. And so that is going to open one time only in 2025. The waitlist link is down below this episode. I hope that you will register to be notified as we open up spots. And I look forward to seeing you elevate as a CEO and a leader. Hope this episode was helpful, and we'll see you on the next show.